Hello YouTube, what's going on? Shane2K here, and I'm with a very special guest, former TPS employee and star on YouTube, Mike Cantalupo. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing better now than I'm with Shane2K.
Thank you for that. How are you holding up during this pandemic and stuff?
Well, I haven't eaten anybody yet. No, I'm good. I'm in Florida. I'm close to the beach, so this beach is open for like walking on and whatever else. So it's all right. I can't complain. I guess it sort of sucks, but I've been, even when I was working at TPS, I was working from home, so I'm very much used to being at home and being sort of quarantined in my own state. So not too much has changed for me, other than the way that everybody else is reacting to this style of living.
All right, you brought up TPS, and I kind of want to get that out of the way early because obviously I'm going to ask you about TPS. What are your current feelings about TPS and how they haven't really changed their video platform, but they've only changed the people that are doing the videos?
Well, the top 10 videos were in place even before I started. For Anthony, who is a friend of mine, who created TPS, he always called the bread and butter. While I was at TPS, I never wanted to do a top 10 video. That's why I did the Man on the Street. That's why the very unknown video, which I think is one of my best, but I think only got like 9,000 views, is when I went down to Atlanta and played mini golf with their starting pitcher, Mike Fulton-Evans. We wanted to start a series where we basically were playing mini golf or like other like yard sort of games with professional athletes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a cool concept, but I don't think that we really had the budget and to be able to go and make it in the way that we wanted. And I don't know. I don't know the current workings around it. I mean, for me, I came up with ideas, and then sooner or later we were able to implement them, like the Man on the Street, like a couple other. There was the Home Run Derby vlog that I did that also didn't do well. A lot of new content didn't do well at first. Man on the Street had to do really well at first, so that's why I was able to ride with that for the rest of my TPS career. But I don't know if it's fear. I don't know if it's just understanding. I don't know what their numbers are right now, but if it's working for them, if they're getting the total view count that they wanted, I see it as maybe not the most inventive channels, maybe not the most cutting edge, and maybe that falls in the long run. And I wonder if you can even do a top 10 video differently, because the amount of ideas must be. I do check occasionally to see the ideas that are coming into place. And I don't know. I'll tell you this: like, I don't really want. They're my friends. Like Jason and I actually went to the same college and same high school, and he was Jason the editor before he was Jason Biondo. I don't know. Man vs. Madden, I completely forgot that was another series too, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it. I don't know why they're not creating new series. Anthony's usually open to that creation, so if any of them are listening, I would say probably time to create a new series. Yeah, definitely. I do think it's if at the end of this rant, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how sustainable it is, but then again, I'm not looking at the numbers every day like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
So business decision-wise, if that's working for them, for what they need, then that's it, you know?
Yeah. I think one thing that made it even staler, especially when you and Daquan were working there, was that stupid Marshawn Lynch goal line play call. Every single top 10 can be about baseball. Somehow that would get thrown in. But what was the most repetitive thing that you think that you had to say in videos?
What's up, what's happening, what's going on? But that was my own doing. That was my own fault. I definitely, that was the intro to everything that I did. And I don't even think it really worked. And I think that's why a lot of people in the comments, if you look at, this is the thing, if you look at videos, top 10 videos that get a lot of views, you'll always see the top comments are basically always, and I check for mine, I don't check for myself, but they're always people who don't normally watch TPS, and they're like, oh, this guy is so annoying, just show the clip, just do this, why are you talking, why does this guy think it's so important that he should be talking? So, I don't know, I don't know if at a certain point I even felt maybe that everything I was saying was sort of redundant. Like, it didn't completely matter. But a lot of people liked that format. Apparently, a lot of the subscribers that stayed tuned and the people that were really watching, those were the only people that really mattered. But in terms of sports moments specifically, the goal line was really annoying. Having to talk about Tom Brady a lot was annoying. There were a lot of times that I really didn't agree with what was being written, so I actually, about a year into my time there, just asked for bullet points. So I was pretty much ad-libbing with just statistics, just so that I could know what's being said, and I can navigate, because I was getting annoyed at certain things in the same way that fans would be getting annoyed about it. So I was sort of trying to navigate it and keep it fresh the entire time. But my answer to you would be, what's up, what's happening, what's going on? Because that's something like now I would never say. I wouldn't even say it in person. It wouldn't really be something. So it was the need for a catchphrase that sort of came along, and I guess it worked. But yeah, I don't need to say that ever again in my life.
I mean, I kind of feel the same way. We do things by accident right when the record button kind of starts. It's like, hey, what's going on YouTube? Shane Decay here. I do that every video by accident. I don't write, I have scripted videos, fully scripted, and I'll never write that down. I just know to say it. It's just like second nature, kind of.
Yeah, you need an intro, that's for sure. But I think we're conditioned now to sort of think, especially in the sports realm, that the intro needs to be super energetic, hit with some sort of graphic, some sort of power, some sort of mic that's going to get everybody interested. But I actually think that that's going to go away. I think when I was doing videos in Ireland, and actually Anthony didn't like it at the time, but I happened to like it, but perhaps I was just really bored with top 10 videos, so perhaps it really was my energy. But I look back on it now and I say, there was a much more subdued sort of idea to it, to where it's not like every intro, everything has to be basically a touchdown, a touchdown call or a home run call. It doesn't have to be at that level. It can sort of be a little bit more chill. You can sort of have a more relaxed approach, and you can sort of just be having a conversation with people. There is that barrier of knowing that people are watching this. But once maybe you're able to sort of take it and say, okay, if I'm just talking to one or two people, then this is how I would say it. And over time, I think people relate to that because they're not feeling like they're being talked at, but rather feeling like they're being talked to.
I can 100% agree with that. It definitely depends on the type of video. When you are directly talking to the fans, kind of like you were in some videos, it makes sense. Or like I see it in apology videos. No one opens an apology video with like a energetic, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" It's always like it's always like you're having a conversation. And I definitely like those type of videos. But I could see where the energetic intro definitely works. But it's just like kind of you have to play it by ear.
I don't know. That's where I'm going now, like with the rest of my career, is trying to understand how do we not sensationalize being on camera or being recorded on audio, whatever it may be. How do we not turn it into this sensational experience? Like, why does it have to be an apology video? Like, why did somebody have to make the mistake first of doing something wrong before they have to be sort of actually honest on camera? There's so many people doing it, so many kids doing it, teenagers, whatever. Like, for you, setting this up as a career, your landscape of what it means to be a broadcaster is completely different than the landscape that I was looking at when I was 16. And that's not saying that that's a good or bad thing. I think it's a good thing. I think that if you're starting now, I was telling you this beforehand, but if you're starting now at 16, imagine 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, when normal people are just starting a career and you have an ability, you talk to a lot of people, you really learned how to do this and do something really well. You go and you shape sort of the next generation of people who want to come up and do this. So if we're going to have a little less sensationalism, that's what I'm fighting for right now. So, yeah, it all goes back to how much I hate what's up, what's happening, what's going on now, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how we segued into that.
Yeah.
So, another awkward transition I'm going to make. I'm just going to say it out loud. I don't care.
Just own up to the awkward transition.
Oh, exactly.
Try to find one word that works with it and just go with it as it happens. But go ahead.
I don't even care. I just thought it was funny, especially because I feel like if I was to tell someone to try and get into interviewing, it'd be experience, and saying that out loud, I just thought it was funny. But have you been watching the Jordan docuseries?
I haven't, actually. I've been hearing everybody talk about it and the fact that now making documentary projects myself, I should absolutely be watching it. But I do know that a lot of what's come out about, I shouldn't really speak on it because I haven't seen it. But I do know that there is a little bit more of a hatred for Michael Jordan out there because of it.
I mean, I watched the first 4 episodes. Not yet. Me and my dad are watching it, and he's not, like, the biggest basketball fan. He's waiting to see why are people going to hate Michael Jordan. They're definitely slowing into it, but you can see, like, flashes of it. But I don't blow things up to be what they're not, and I didn't believe the hype. It's so, no one hates Michael Jordan yet, but it's incredible.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to have to watch it. I tried to get through Tiger King and watched 2 episodes, and I said I can't really watch this anymore. So, but probably I'll be much more interested in the Michael Jordan docuseries. So, yeah, that will be my next one, and I'll let you know what I think about it.
Trust me, I hated Tiger King too. I watched the entire show. It wasn't my thing.
That's good. I like your taste thus far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, coming from a Patriots fan, I loved watching the Dolphins draft Tua because I thought it wasn't the right decision personally. You're a Dolphins fan, like I said. How do you feel about Tua being drafted to the Dolphins?
Oh, I was finally revitalized in loving the Dolphins and loving sports. I'm really excited about it. I posted. It sort of felt like a little revitalization of when I left with TPS. I felt like I was able to connect with the people who followed me again because the common interest was always sports. And after I left TPS, I was sort of so perhaps disinterested in sports. I needed a break from it. So I was very, very excited, and still am very excited. It feels like the Dolphins, I feel like I learned misery from the Dolphins. I learned how to deal with constant loss and constant disappointment because of them, and it still felt like, and this is not just the season, this is through the draft as well, so I've been excited about possible picks before that didn't turn out in a way that made sense, but yeah, when they actually drafted Tua, it said to me, okay, these guys are getting their act together, and perhaps we're actually building something that can win. Now, of course, you don't know how many quarterbacks they say are going to be great and then end up really failing, but I really like what I have seen from Tua. I think I really like his attitude, but then I also really like the way that he is able to move around pockets and be able to extend plays and improvise. And that's what I've been looking for from a Dolphins quarterback for a very long time. If you see, I was very big on rooting for the Titans during this last run to the AFC Championship game because I was always a big fan of Ryan Tannehill, and I've always believed that he was a scapegoat to a lot of the problems. But there were certain things always that made Ryan Tannehill look goofy that I couldn't completely, I guess, stick up for him on. So I feel like Tua makes those things look a lot more cool. So we'll see if it translates onto the field. But yeah, hopefully we actually have a winning team, and it sparks some energy here in Florida and for myself.
I mean, yeah, I watched a lot of Tua. I love what Tua did on the field. It's just, I saw a list on ESPN one morning about all of his injuries he's had in just like 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed like a kind of 50-50 pick. Like, if he can stay without injury, starts doing some TB12 method, maybe. But
yeah, if he's doing the TB12, yeah, absolutely. Sure, but you know he's right there in Tampa right now, so they're not far away from each other. So maybe he can learn a thing or two. And now he's finally out of the division, which is a very, very good feeling. And to watch Ryan Tannehill beat Tom Brady in his last AFC East, well, really AFC game ever. That was really great for me as well. But yeah, injuries-wise, I don't blame you. I think that there is a real injury concern there, but such is the nature of the game. So hopefully he got all of his injuries out of the way, and he's too dynamic of a player to look past because of injury. I don't think that that's fair. And we'll see. I mean, they built a strong offensive line now. They drafted a couple offensive linemen. They're really putting themselves in that position to protect him, which is something that a Dolphins quarterback hasn't had in a very long time.
I like that. I mean, yeah, like I said, I like Tua, so I'd be, especially because I expect we're going to tank. I mean, you guys picked kind of a weird year to get good because, yeah, you could say the division's yours, but, like, the Bills, they're going to win the division. That's a no-brainer, unless the Patriots somehow shock the planet. Now, I think the Dolphins will be either a second or I'm putting Patriots in fourth. We're going to be awful this season. Jarrett Stidham is not, I mean, I hope he's all that some people think he is, but I don't think he is. I could see Jets and Dolphins doing better than us, and that's kind of between you guys and the Jets, I'd say.
Not the Bills?
No, Bills are, I'm putting them first. I'm saying for second seed.
Oh, you're saying the Bills are going to, okay.
No, Bills are good.
listen, I'll take one more year of like building promise, and whatever that has to mean until we're ready. I think the landscape is completely changing and it'll be up for grabs, and it's not just going to happen one year. So if that's the case, so be it. I'm just happy that all of my Patriot fan friends are going to be able to hopefully understand a bit of misery for a little while. You guys have had enough of a run. If you're 16 now and seen 5 of their championships, or
yeah,
all
5.
Of them, it sounds like that is that your entire sports existence is just winning. So that's not really fair.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely not. No, they've been winning since before I was alive, so.
Mm-hmm.
All right, back to the TPS things. My favorite series was Man on the Street, or I didn't know exactly what it was called, but Man on the Street. When you were out and you were asking, that's when I learned that the Nets, Jets were like the only teams with 4 letters, like stupid stuff like that. What was your most awkward interaction that you had while doing that?
It depends on what awkward really means. Wow. Let me try to think back to these things. I mean, I got a couple people who became sort of almost. I had a female camerawoman. I'll tell you this, and like there were a couple times that like people were just really sort of inappropriate to her, and that sort of always ruined the day a bit for me. But otherwise, like awkward, funny wise, we've had a lot of really, really strange characters. I think that if you look back, we did a couple international ones, and the one in Napoli in Italy when we were interviewing Italians about American superstars, like showing them LeBron James or whoever else. There was this one dude who really wanted to be on camera, but only spoke Italian. And the things he was saying were so essentially like what you would think would be said in Italian. Like, I don't understand it, but like he's like bambini, 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 figli, bambini. And it's like that was a very funny one. I think there was also one I did in Valencia where there was, and I was trying to do it in Spanish, and that was pretty awkward.
I remember that.
And then there were a lot of like drunk people coming outside of Madison Square Garden throughout the time that had something very interesting to say. But yeah, I tended to have a really enjoyable time while I was doing those. I tend to like awkward moments because I think that they end up making the best situations for that segment, and that's why I really like that segment. And that's why I'll probably continue to do that segment once we get our lives back together and we're allowed to go outside again. Not just sports-wise. I think that segment was sort of limited because we could only talk about sports, and it just so happened that like it was working really well for those trivia, like the 9 sports teams that don't end in S. Those particular titles were working really well, but it was limiting because there's only so many of those that are really exciting and interesting to look at. But if you are able to take that Man on the Street concept and you're able to talk about anything, not just sports, I think you have something that reaches a much, much wider audience and is a very interesting, awkward, exciting, whatever it may be, real experience. So that's where I'll be going on my YouTube channel once this all dies down.
Yeah, I mean, Man on the Street is probably the best way to become a good interviewer because, like, you're thrown in such a weird situation. You're dealing with so many different things. I mean, I would just assume you're dealing with random people, drunk people, people that don't speak English half the time.
Oh, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, you didn't even just take this as the answer to your first question, because there is the one, now that I remember it, there is the one funniest moment out of all of it. I went to a Little League World Series, and we were trying to get press passes for it, but we were denied the press passes. But that didn't stop us from still going outside of the venue. And my friend, who is a camera person, still has the voicemail somewhere along the line. It was a very word got around that we were there, and there was a PR person for the Little League World Series who I guess had to drop everything because this was the biggest travesty that ever happened to the Little League World Series. We were coming in and we were talking to fans. And the thing is, we talked to a couple Little League World Series athletes. That was, I guess, the thing that really triggered them. But of course, I had the voicemail on my phone still, but he's very angry and things running towards us. And then we got kicked out of the Little League World Series. So that not many people can say that they get kicked out of the Little League World Series, but I did. But that video actually did really well. I think it had like 300,000 views on it or something. It's like, it was the athlete who, can you name the athletes by their childhood picture or something like that? We basically showed pictures of athletes as they were as a kid, and then you had to guess who they were. Great segment, but yeah, the Little League World Series, I guess we're not fans of TPS.
I guess not.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny though. I think Bob Menery tried to get on that. They told him no, and he didn't even try. I love Bob Menery, but like, that's not his thing.
I mean, while we were there, it was cool because it was like I loved going to sporting events because that's where I would meet people that actually knew who I was. So, like, the Little League World Series, before we got kicked out, like, people were asking me for autographs, taking pictures, whatever. It was a very cool experience for me. But the top of the line did not want me there. It was too dangerous, I guess.
I don't understand that, because, like, TPS is definitely PG. Like, I don't even understand it.
It might just be, it might be the website. TotalProSports.com is not necessarily PG. It's a lot of clickbait and they'll admit it. That's sort of it. So I always had a problem with associating the YouTube channel and the website together because they were so drastically different. Like we were actually putting out our own content versus TPS. The website doesn't really have actual writers or is not actually sort of writing their own stuff. So it was a disconnect that was happening that I think that whenever I tried to contact a press outlet, if they were looking at TotalProSports.com, they would actually say no without ever looking at anything more just because it didn't feel like real, I guess. So that was something that I would have liked to change as well, but never got around to it.
Oh, yeah. No, there's some things like, that's why I love Barstool Sports, because they have that really good connect. They're very good on Instagram. They have YouTube videos. Now they have their own gold thing, but their website is like, you're buying into exactly what you're looking to see. And they're doing a little docu-series, too, about the guy that started it, El Presidente, Mike Portnoy. I don't even know if you watch any of this, but still, I watched every episode. I love how crazy, like, they started, it was a newspaper originally, and then it was just insane.
Yeah, no, I at first used to think that, like, TPS and Barstool were, like, competitors to one another, and there was one time when I saw Dave in a bar, Dave Portnoy. And like I was going to go up to him and talk to him, and Anthony was not happy with that, the TPS owner. But I didn't end up doing that. But I actually happened to got grown to really like Barstool. I really like their don't give a damn attitude about anything.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a couple people on there that make really, really good stuff, like Caleb Presley, the documentaries, that like sort of like the 60-minute features that he does about colleges, and they're hysterical. I think that is some of my favorite stuff to watch on YouTube, as well as Wonton Don and his travel series. I've grown to really like them, and I like, I mean, I admire it now that I'm, gone and started my own business. I admire the effort and the drive and the vision to be able to create something that's now pretty much a household name.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my dad is 51, lives in Jersey. I started in Boston. He knows what Barstool Sports is, so I love Barstool Sports.
I think they're doing well.
Oh, yeah. So, this is a question I kind of, am going to start putting into interviews, and I love this question. What is the first sports memory you can think of? When I think of it, I was 4, and or maybe 5, it doesn't matter. But I was very young, and I live in Jersey, so I was going to Yankee Stadium for the first time. And now I hate the Yankees. I'm a diehard Red Sox fan. I can't stand the Yankees, but still, it's like, that was the first time that I can remember sports at that young of an age. And that's kind of like, I started off as a Yankees fan because that's all my family was. And then I went to my dad's side of the family. I was like, oh, the Red Sox. And I hate the Yankees. But, yeah, it was just beautiful because it was a night game. The lights, it was coming down to playoffs. It was cold. I remember being in like a jacket or something with all of my family there. And I still remember it vividly. It was a really cool memory. But what do you think the first sports memory you can think of personally is?
Well, it's a good question, so keep asking people. And for me, the first professional sports memory I have was I was born a huge Yankees fan as well, and I was at David Cohn's perfect game, I guess when I was maybe 6 years old, and I don't know if I completely understood the magnitude of being there live for a perfect game, but what I do remember is that right as as they were all celebrating, somebody jumped out of the stands, and I do remember somebody getting arrested as they tried to storm the field. That is the vivid memory that I have in my head for some reason. But then otherwise, I remember I like playing sports-wise. I remember a lot of things. I remember, from T-ball to my 1 year playing soccer. I remember that I was playing goalie, and I always hated I remember they wouldn't tell me what the final score of the game was, even though I was obviously keeping it in my head. I guess they didn't want to tell 5-year-olds the score, but I was always sort of angry by that. I wanted to know the score. I wanted the competitive edge, and I didn't really care if the feelings were hurt because of it. I thought that was the whole point of the game. But yeah, David Cohn's perfect game. I had a lot of sports memories growing up. Sports were a very big impact on me, especially baseball. Baseball was my first sport. It was my favorite sport. And then, and then football took over. But football didn't take over until much later, until when I was 14 or so.
Yeah, baseball also started as a big one. I only got into football when I was whenever the Giants played the Patriots in the Super Bowl, because I remember everyone was so excited for it, and that was the first time I ever watched football. And then Gronkowski got drafted. I remember that name. Obviously, it's Gronk. But also, one that I can think of, I remember being on the couch with my mom and my great-grandmother at the time, who was in her late 80s, I believe. So she was getting up there. And it was one of the last years that she was alive. So this was when I was like 7, and the Yankees won the World Series. And I just remember everyone freaking out in my house, besides my dad, because he's a Mets fan, so he didn't like that. But I just remember I remember the smile on her face. I remember the smile on my mom's face. I had a new baby sister. She was about 2 at the time. Obviously, she didn't care. But I can remember that vividly, too.
What was that? Was that like 2000, which one, 2009?
I think so? Hold on.
Yeah, probably. I think that's the last time that they won it. I remember 8 years before that, one of my first real, I guess I have memories of them winning in 2000, the Subway Series, but in 2001, when it was right after 9/11, and they were playing the Diamondbacks in the World Series. I do remember asking my brother, who was much older than me, I was like, the Diamondbacks fans, they all waved a white towel like throughout the entire series when they were having home games. And I remember asking my brother why they were waving the towels. And I remember him angrily saying that it's because they have nothing better to do. So yeah, that was a crazy World Series as well. But that was probably the first World Series that I remember watching on television. But that was a loss. I think in 2009, actually, the last time the Yankees won.
Yeah, it was the 2000, because I wasn't alive in 2000, so I was about 6, so 2009, yep.
Yeah, so I think that World Series was really the end of my investing all of my energy into Yankee fanhood and then switching over to Dolphin fanhood. That's where I feel like I can only invest the amount that I invested into fanhoods. I feel like I could only do it for one sport at a time. The Yankees were just winning so much that I think I kind of got bored of that and then decided, all right, let's go into misery. I don't know. Like, I would watch the Dolphins game before 2009, and but I would watch them on NFL.com with like just helmets that would that sort of like the game cast, but I guess it was sort of a very early stage game cast, and it would just be the helmets that would that would reload every 2 minutes to show what happened every play, and I would watch I could have watched all of the 2007 season, like 1 and 15. I watched it that way every single game.
I did the same thing with Patriot games, because they only played when they played the Jets and Giants, so I was in the same boat. I watched those stupid helmets every 2 minutes.
Yeah. So how was that fair that you became a Patriots fan?
So
when you were living in New Jersey.
So
because I became a Dolphins fan living in New York, but at least I didn't get to see any excitement.
So I actually love this question because I hate being called a bandwagon, because there is a good reason. My dad is from Maine. He was born in Maine. His entire family's from up there. So that's where I get all the New England sports. I'm a Bruins fan, but I barely watch hockey. Red Sox, Patriots. But then basketball, I got into that very late, 13, 14, and my friend got me into it, actually. So I'm a Knicks fan, unfortunately, which is awful. But I mean that all of the New England routes are from my dad's side of the family. My mom's side of the family, they're from New York and New Jersey, though.
Okay, so you're a Mainer at heart. Does he a lobster fisherman?
I do. I have before. It's a lot of fun. I also love lobster. Only from Maine, though. It's different when it's here.
Yeah. No. Nothing like a Maine lobster roll, that's for sure.
No. Nothing can compare to it.
I don't know if I completely allow that answer, but that's okay. You do what you need to do. You got a lot of winning now, and now you have to deal with it. No.
I'm fine with that.
The soon-to-be misery of being a New England Patriots fan for the rest of your life.
Yeah. I mean, hey, they were awful in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, so I'm fine with it. I usually end these interviews with what would you want your legacy to be, but I kind of wanted to switch it up, just personalized to you. Your Instagram bio, I actually really like. It's what is your superpower? So I'm gonna end it with that. What is your superpower, Mike?
Wow, cool. I've never actually gotten asked that question, and nobody. Hold on. Oh yeah. Okay. Hold on 1 second for me. I'm planning this as I'm getting another call, but give me 1 second.
Okay.
All right, I'm back. What is my superpower? I think that I'm able to bring out the best of other people on camera, and I sort of genuinely care about the impact that words and giving somebody a platform and a voice can actually do for the world. I guess my superpower might be that I like legitimately care about what the future of our world will be like, and I do think that I'm a pretty free thinker, and I have sort of opinions beyond the scope of what people are talking about in the here and now, and sort of trying to understand, like, okay, this is serious. Like, this is like some sort of, there's something here, there's something going on that's that can be figured out. There's a lot of people that could be helped, and I think I now have the superpower of being able to travel and relate to people and hopefully show a side of those people that other people wouldn't normally even suggest a conversation with them, can actually hear them out and recognize them as people, as important as human. So that's really what I was trying to do. It's limiting in sports, but I'm sure that I'll be making sports documentaries along the way, showcasing the culture of sports, showcasing what that community really brings, and the power of the fan. And yeah, that's what I tried to do with the Man on the Street videos as well. I tried to, showcase that everyone, whether they know nothing about sports or whether they knew a lot or whether they looked funny or whether they're this or whether they're that like they should get equal treatment. And yeah, there's a lot of power to having a camera in front of you, and there's a lot of power to having a platform. So using those wisely, and in a way that helps humanity, I think is very important, and I think that I'm doing that. So, yeah, there's my superpower.
I loved that answer, but you are officially, and I know it's a big deal, you're going to definitely write it down, you're my longest interview. Probably, I mean, I'm not going to say wisest, because the last guy, he was older and he's traveled more, and he was a genius. But I will say you're one of the most fun, and you're one of the most detailed, by far, the most detailed answers I've gotten. So I want to thank you again. I will be putting your YouTube in the description and probably your Instagram. But if there's anything you want to say to end this video, it's up to you, man.
Yeah, sure. Just thanks for reaching out to me. I think Shaney 2K told me that before this, he's reached out to over 1,000 people, which is very admirable. Since over the last year, I reached out to hundreds of people as well, trying to make my work happen. So, yeah, if you're young and you're watching this, just start it. Whatever it is, just start it. Don't think about if it's going to become a career or not. If you like it, just do it. We have these platforms. We have YouTube. We have TikTok, Twitch, Discord, whatever. All of these different chances to be able to showcase what you do and what you like to do. And the truth is that there's going to be times when, a lot of times, when you're not going to be comfortable enough to be able to showcase what you do out to the world. But just know that, you are unique, and just put it out there. If it gets 3 views, it gets 3 views. I tell myself this, so, if it gets 3 views, it gets 3 views. Just be consistent, go out, do it, and make the world a better place. Keep that in your plans while you're doing it, because what else is the point? There's no other point. So, yeah, that's it. Thanks for having me, man.
Of course, man. Thank you guys for watching the video. Leave a like and check out his YouTube in the description. It was fun. Peace out, guys.